Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk Abington Heights girls basketball. Mariah Tulaney joining us right now. Well, Mariah, for you, it's been a good start for Abington Heights. Let's talk about your team this season.
Well, so far, we've had a really great start. We had a new coach, Mrs. Clayman, and our team has been bonding really well together. We've won the past few games. We lost our first game, which was a little bit of a rough start, but we came back from that pretty well.
Tell us about what you like about your team this year. It seems like you do have some size. You probably have some quickness as well. So tell us a little bit about the makeup of the team.
Well, our team is really young because we only have 4 seniors, and 2 of our starters right now are sophomores, and they're a really big part of our team. So it's great to have, like, Cassie Shazik is a good forward. She's got height and really good in the post. And Hannah Kowalski, the other sophomore, is really quick and can handle the ball really well. We have a lot of girls that are on the bench. We have a pretty big team, so it's good to know that if someone's having a bad game, that we have someone on the bench that can come in that can do just as well, pick up any slack that we had if we had a rough game.
Talk about your leadership role. Tell us about, as one of the seniors, what you have to do with so many underclassmen to make sure they're doing all the little things. As you mentioned, a new coach, so it's a new program, and some things probably have changed. So tell us about trying to make that adjustment.
Well, at practice, we try to really focus because there's a lot of changes, as you said, like with learning the plays and everything. We try to run through them with all the girls so everybody's on the same page. We all know what we're trying to do. All the girls have done really well so far. Like, they've all bought into Mrs. Klingman's program and everything that she's presented to us. So as a leader, really, I'm just trying to help the girls, just play hard every day, and focus at practice so we could really get going with playing.
Well, there's an element of toughness that goes with the athletics in your family. Your brother was a heck of a football player, and, of course, he played some basketball as well. Talk about being tough and making sure that you're going to play some defense because, being a good defender always helps and kind of sets the tone for your team. Yeah,
well, I've come to learn that defense is a really big part of the game. It's actually my favorite part because offensively, I'm not like one of our lead scorers, so I know that playing defense is what I really need to do. And my brother playing basketball has taught me a lot about that. He helps me a lot. Like, when I come home from a game, he tells me, here's some things I need to work on. Defensively, as a team, we know that that's a big part of the game, that if we could play defense, we can pretty much go from there and do well.
Talk about being a coachable player. That's one of the things that Coach Klingman mentioned. She said, Mariah is really coachable, and she really, will listen to you, and then she'll go out and actually do it.
Well, I think that with basketball, I've played for so long, and I've had a lot of different coaches in the past, and all the coaches are different. So I have to know, to listen to what they want and try to do it, the best that I can. Because I'm not always going to be able to, do the things that they're trying to tell me, but I try my best to make her happy and do what she wants us to do.
And that kind of goes along with being a true team player, as Coach also mentioned, said, Mariah really helps all the girls around her, and when she's on the floor, she's making everybody better around her.
Well, yeah, I know I try. When I'm on the court, I know there's girls on the court that have a really good shot, and I think that, to me, they have a better shot than I do. So if I'm going to get the ball, I'd like to drive and kick to them because I know that they have a better chance of making it. So I try to look at the players that I'm on the court with to see, what their strengths are and try to make it so I can give them a good play and help them out.
Mariah Tulaney from Abington Heights here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Mariah, let's talk a little bit about your family. You mentioned your brother helping you out, and of course he's back in the area in northeastern Pennsylvania, which is great, and having your folks as well. Talk a little bit about what it's like to get people out to watch you play the game, and of course help you with your studies and different things like that.
Well, my family's a huge part of my life. They're there for me every step of the way, and my family's always growing because I'm the youngest of them all, and they're all now getting married and having babies, so it's so exciting that they all still love to come out and support me on the basketball court or on the volleyball court. They're my biggest supporters, and they also support me a lot with school. They always tell me school is very important, which I know in my family that we have to maintain good grades, in order to be able to play and all that. I think it's really important that people want to come to the games, because when I was growing up, I loved going to my brother's games and my sister's games, that I fell in love with the sport and wanted to play myself.
Mariah, how about future endeavors for you? You're a senior. Tell us about what you're looking forward to doing, whether it's college or something else coming up for 2016.
Well, I plan on going to college. I'd like to major in accounting. I've applied to a couple places. I'm not definitely sure on where I'd like to go, but I know if I ever got the opportunity to play basketball on a club team or anything like that, I would love to, just to keep playing and, stay in shape.
And then how about as far as your outlook for this year with your team? You said you had an opening season loss, but you bounced back with a few wins. How far do you think this team could go? You think you're one of those teams that will get better as the year goes on and possibly make a playoff push?
I think we definitely can. The first game of our season, we did have a loss, but the game was a close game, and we stayed with them the whole time. They were a very good team. I think that if we were ever to face a team like that again, now in this far in the season or even farther in the season, that we'd be more prepared, and we every day are growing as a team, and I feel like every day we improve and get better. So I think that we could have a good chance of going pretty far this season. Hopefully we can.
Right. How about some of the role models in your life, the people you look up to, or some people that you aspire to be?
Well, definitely my parents. They've done so much for me. They taught me a lot about hard work paying off, and I don't know, I wouldn't be the person I am today without them. And like I said, my brother has been a big role model for me with sports, because I always looked up to him, because he, in my eyes, was so great at all the athletics that he did. He also showed me that sports aren't always going to be there, because now he has a good job and he's married and has a baby now. So it's awesome to look up to him to see all the things he's accomplished in his life, as well as my sisters too, who have both, went on to do the things that they love to do.
Well, no doubt about it. You have a tight-knit family there, the Tuleneys, and very supportive. Get together over the holidays and have a good time. Mariah, we're rooting for you this year for the Abington Heights Comets, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Mariah Tulaney for the Abington Heights Lady Comets here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.